This video is all about how you too can start tap strafing on controller, just like all the pros can who play on mouse and keyboard.
Honestly, I don't know who the fuck to trust. Is she my friend or my foe? I must exit, draw. Yeah, she give me that maybe I was wrong. I remember back when I was younger, I was happy. Nowadays feel like no one understand me. I'm good at artists, silly on block, Bambi. Baby's yellow, text. She wanna give me like candy. Running through racks, track me. I run up the racks like an athlete. Big fat, she read the dick, 6 flags. Ballin' like dick, told her I love her. I ain't really mean that, yeah. Nowadays these people like fun. Never go back to love. These bitches make it go up. I never hold up a toy. I remember. Remember I was selling dog food, no kibbles, just to give me some skrilla. Remember I was really on the block like 10 G's, just to give me some chill. Surfing, rocking the parking lot, my weed light, and like the gay bubble light. I be on her mind like non-stop, yeah, headache till I got no time. Remember smoking blunts with my friends, seconds a couple of days, yeah, lost a lot to the fan.
Just a quick note before we hop into this video here. Console players, this one is not going to be for you. I am so sorry. But it's okay, alright? There's still plenty of unique movement tech that you can still use to increase your skill level. And stay tuned because I have a basic movement guide and an advanced movement guide already on the way. So like I said, make sure you're subscribed because it is coming for you, alright? Now, you just moved over to the PC or you've been playing on PC and you just discovered tap strafing. Welcome to the future of ankle breaking and play making. This isn't going to be an in-depth guide as to how to tap strafe, but simply a guide on how to set up your controller and then how to use your new tap strafe binds. Mouse and keyboard players, all you're going to have to do for this is set your scroll wheel up to W and your scroll wheel down to jump, and you're all set. Alright, controller players, let's hop into Steam and let's set this up. Hey guys, District here. Just before we actually move on into Steam, I just want to shout out my Discord server real quick. If you're ever looking to meet new players, our server is full with over 5,000 members. We have rank roles and chats to find similar skilled players. We also host custom lobbies and tournaments. And we also have plenty of commands to help you increase your accuracy and your skill set. Alright, now let's hop into this guide. Alright, so welcome to Steam, where we're going to be doing all of these little cool, intricate adjustments to our controller configurations, which is going to eventually allow us to tap strafe within Apex Legends without the need of an actual keyboard to do this mechanic. Alright, so first thing that we're going to do, we're going to open up Steam, we're going to hop into our library, find Apex Legends, boom, right side of the screen we're going to see this gear icon. Open up this gear icon, come down to properties, just gonna open up this page right here. Now we're gonna scroll on down to controller. Inside of controller, we're going to see this little button link type thing right here, controller general settings. Click on that and open it. From here, it's gonna open up this new window. And what we're going to do is we're going to select the controller that we're using. So I specifically play on an Xbox controller. If you play PlayStation, click PlayStation. If you're on Xbox, click Xbox. Now right here we'll see no controllers detected. You're going to want to make sure that you plug your controller into your PC. So if you have a strike pack, this is going to be really hard for you. And you know, let's be real, if you're using a strike pack, you just should not be allowed to do this at all because you're already cheating. Now right here, controller's connected. I play with my Xbox Elite Series 2. And now that our controller's connected, we're going to just simply close out of this window. All right, now we can close this window right here. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to open up controller layout. All right, welcome to the gamepad configuration for your specific controller. So if you're on a PlayStation controller and you're not using an Xbox, don't worry. The step-by-step is going to be the exact same. Now, what we're looking to do here is we're looking to bind our tap strafe to our left analog stick right here. So we're going to go to joystick move. We're going to click on this one. Now we're going to start looking at mode shifting. Mode shifting is essentially what is activating your tap strafe binds. So we're going to enter mode shifting here. We're going to put our style of input to our directional pad. We'll talk about that in a second. And the mode shift button, so this is the specific button that's going to activate our tap strafe. We're going to change this, scroll on down, and we're going to put joystick click. So whenever we click down on our left analog stick, our L3, this is what's going to activate the tap strafe binds. Now we're going to start looking at this diagram right here. This is essentially your analog stick. And these pads right here, or these directional pads, this is what we're going to map our specific tap strafe directions to. So if this is our analog stick and this is forward, this is up on our analog stick, we're going to map that to W, which is forwards on the keyboard. We're going to map that to W like that. And it's automatically going to kick you out of the menu. So we're going to have to click on W again, come on down to show activators, And now this is going to open up a new menu. This might look a little confusing, but don't worry, we're only going to be changing 2 settings. The 2 settings that we're going to be changing is our turbo and the repeat rate. We're going to change our turbo to on, and we're going to turn the repeat rate to maximum. Now what turbo is whenever you press down on this specific button, or whenever we hold down on our analog stick, it's going to start repeating that button over and over and over again. And the repeat rate is just how fast it's going to repeat it. So we want to repeat it as fast as possible, and that's what's going to give us a quicker tap strafe. So from here, we're going to click back, and now we're going to go over and we're going to repeat everything that we did here to all of these extra buttons. So we're going to come over here to our left direction input, and our left direction input on a keyboard is going to be A, so we're going to click A. It's going to kick us out. We're going to enter it again, go back down to show activators, and again here we're going to turbo on, repeat to the max. We're going to leave. Now we're going to add our right input. The right directional input is going to be your D key, so we're going to D key, kick us out, enter back, show activators, turbo, turn the turbo on, and crank that soldier boy to the max. Now we're going to add our S key. S key it up. That's going to be our backwards tap strafe. It's going to kick us out. We're going to re-enter it again. Come on down to show activators. And now that we're in show activators, again, turbo on and repeat to the max. Now we're going to take a step back and we're going to think about our default controller layout. Now by default within the Apex button layout, whenever you click down on your left thumbstick, that's what's going to zoom your variable scopes in and out. So those are the scopes that are like the 1 to 2x, the 2 to 4x, any scope that zooms in and out, that's when you're using your left thumbstick click. But remember, we just put our tap strafe on our left thumbstick click. So now we can't actually zoom in and out of our scopes. What we're going to do here is we're going to add the zoom into our scope on our on our backwards tap strafe. So we're going to click on S, we're going to add an activator, and what we're going to do here is instead of turning this on, we're going to leave the turbo off so that it doesn't repeat, and we're going to leave the repeat just the way it is because we don't have a turbo to begin with. Our bind, right, I'll just show you again, our bind to do this is going to be our left analog stick. So if you're on PlayStation, don't worry about what the controller looks like. This is just a default controller layout. We're going to click on the analog stick. And now whenever we pull backwards on our analog stick, while clicking down and zooming in, it's going to toggle the zoom in and out of our scope. And there you go. Just like that, you completely set up your tap strafe on your analog stick, on your left analog stick. Oh, and just before I forget, one more setting. Our overlap region, we'll bring this all the way from the default line and we'll snap this all the way down to around the 0.075 region. Mine's 0.76 just because I can't get it on 7.5, but whatever you can get close to as long as it's around this region right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open up Apex Legends and we're going to show you how to actually tap strafe in game real quick. Alrighty, so now we are in Kings Canyon Season 14, and now we're actually going to show you how to start implementing your tap strafe, or actually just how to use the tap strafe in general. So as you can see, bottom right corner of the screen, I have got my controller pad thingamabobber activated, so I can show you all of the button presses that I'm currently using. Just so you know, my swap weapon is mapped to my right analog stick, so just keep that in mind if it looks different from yours, and my crouch is actually on my Y button, and my punch is on B. So alright, so those are the only buttons that will probably be different from yours, but everything else, like the tap strafe, you can see right here, my left thumbstick click, this is what we mapped our tap strafe to. Now, there are 4 essentially different types of tap strafes that we can use. There's a forward tap strafe where we are pressing tap strafe and pushing forward. We have our left tap strafe where we're pressing tap strafe moving left, tap strafe moving right, and tap strafe moving backwards. Now the main tap strafe that you see mouse and keyboard players using is the forward tap strafe, and that's mainly because their tap strafe is bound to their scroll wheel and they only have one option, which is forwards. So the main tap strafe that we're going to be using is our forward tap strafe, right? Which is again click and forward. It will look like basically like your screen's shaking because remember that turbo is spam pressing W for you. Now, essentially all we're going to do is we're going to slide, jump, and we're going to activate that tap strafe, right? So we're going to slide, jump, and then turn in whatever direction we want. Slide, jump, tap strafe, right? Slide, jump, tap strafe. And all we're doing is we're pressing and all we're doing here is we're pressing forward on the analog stick like this while we jump. So that is the forwards tap strafe, The next tap strafe we have is a left or right tap strafe. Essentially what this looks like is this. Right, all we're doing here is we're slide jumping, and then after our jump, we're going to tap strafe left or we're going to tap strafe right. And what that immediately does is it just instantly shifts you into the direction. So if I'm coming out of this building right here, I'm essentially going to slide jump and tap strafe right like that. Same thing if I'm going into the building, slide jump and tap strafe into the building. Now we also have a backwards tap strafe. Remember, we added that tap strafe also to our backwards analog stick pull. Essentially what that's going to look like is this. We're essentially just going to run forward, tap strafe, and we're going to do a circle with our analog stick, right? But all you can see right here is I'm moving my analog stick and I'm pushing it forward and bringing it around. And that's going to activate that backwards tap strafe. And this is essentially like a 180 backwards tap strafe without turning around. So before, if you wanted to do a 180 tap strafe, you would W forward, or you would forwards tap strafe and turn around like that. Now what we can actually do is instead of turning around, we can just backwards. And there you go. That's how you tap strafe right there. So remember before how we were talking about when we were setting up our tap strafe that we can't zoom in anymore because our tap strafe is bound to our left analog stick click. Right? Just like right here, when I zoom in, you can see it says press L to toggle. If you look at the gamepad, I am doing that, but it's not toggling it. Now, remember what we ended up doing in our button layout or in our controller configuration within Steam is that we set it so that whenever we press in our L and pull backwards, it's going to actually toggle that for us. So that's how we're going to start toggling our zoom from now on, right? So if we want to zoom in right here, or if we want to zoom out, look at the controller gamepad, we're going to click in and pull backwards. And that's how we're going to start toggling our zooms from now on. It might be a little weird to get used to at first, but once you got it, and it starts becoming really easy. And there you go. That's how you tap strafe.